Okay, so the first method that I use to find roommates or tenants, whatever you want to call it, basically room share, is Facebook Marketplace. So this is actually an expired listing that I have, but I will just open it up and show you guys how I advertise. So obviously you want to have a lot of photos, so I'll just run through these real quick. I found that if you have photos of yourself in the ads, it actually really helps, especially if you're trying to find roommates for a house that you live in. But even if you're just renting out rooms in a house that you own, if you have photos of yourself, it just makes it less, like, I guess, scammy when people are flipping through them, because a lot of the houses that I have are, brand new and they're really nice, and some people almost think it's too good to be true. So having pictures of myself in the ads has helped greatly. So those are the photos that I have. And then you have, details about the room. So you can just put all this details in there. And then of course I have a description. So if I go down to like more, it'll just show all of this text here. So this is stuff that I have about the room itself, which I'll go into further detail later. But Facebook Marketplace comes in at number 5 for me. And that is because Facebook Marketplace, you get a lot of hits, but I haven't gotten most of my tenants from Facebook Marketplace. So as I continue to go through, I'll talk about which one is my number 1. But Facebook Marketplace is definitely number 5 when it comes to room rentals. So the second method that I use is an app called RentHoop. Now, I am friends with the CEO of RentHoop. I started using this before I ever met him, but after using RentHoop, I actually became one of his biggest daily active users because I had so many properties and so many rooms, I was almost constantly on RentHoop looking for roommates. The way RentHoop works is you basically scroll through almost like it's Tinder, and you can swipe right on a roommate that you think you would be a good fit, and you swipe left on people that you don't think would be a good fit. And if you and that other person swipe right, then you can start a conversation and you can talk about living together and, roommate preferences and deal breakers. Now, I'm not going to go a ton into this app because the CEO of RentHoop, a man by the name of Paul Burke, who I am friends with now, he actually started a new company, and it sounds like that will be taking over. So RentHoop was really good back when he was running it, but I think he's probably going to sell it to an investor in Silicon Valley and jump ship to another company. When he does that, I will update you guys with another avenue of how to find renters. Also, a pro tip is I would advertise on all of these places: Facebook Marketplace, RentHoop, and the spots that I'm going to talk about next. So the number 3 way to find roommates is a company called Roomie. So this is another website. You can have listings. This is another one of my houses. So I'll just show it to you. It's very similar to the house you just looked at, but there are some differences here. But this is another house that I have that I rent out by the bedrooms. And I have gotten several roommates / tenants through Roomie for this house in particular and for some of my other houses. And so it's pretty basic. This company is really good. You can see all the listings that they have on here, so you can see your competition. You can see what other rooms are listed at. And then you can also see this little notification bell here. You can see if somebody favorited your listing or not. So I have people that, favorite the listing or they want to talk. So, you get a little notification here. So this guy, for example, favorited the listing. And he talks about himself, says easygoing. You can see he's 32. And you can see he's Facebook verified, which means his Facebook profile matches his Roomie profile. So if I want to message this guy, I can just click this message button. Oh, sorry. This is going to do a background check, which I'm not going to do right now in the interest of time. But this is just so you guys know, the people looking for rooms and the people who have rooms for rent, both of those people have an opportunity to take a background check. But I'm obviously not going to do that right now just because you guys don't want to sit through taking a background check. So when I saw he favorited my listing, I sent him a little message. He messaged me back. I messaged him back. And after I messaged him back, I basically asked for his email address so I could send him more photos. And the reason for that is because the listing that he mentioned about actually had been booked. And this person here, I saw that she had favorited my listing. She was looking for a room to rent. So I just sent her a message. So that's pretty much how this works. So when I first started on Roomie, it was completely for free. And not only was it free to use and free to message, whenever you got a roommate through the Roomie app, they would send you a little roommate gift. Sometimes it would be a beer opener. Sometimes it'd be a couple of matching t-shirts. So it was really fun. Now, since then, I am told that there is a paid version of Roomie. I personally have never done that. I don't know if it's just because I'm grandfathered in to the Roomie platform, so I don't have to pay. So that's something that we might want to do some research on, is if you open up a Roomie profile, make sure you're not paying for it, because you shouldn't have to. But if all they offer now is a paid site, then I wouldn't actually use it. So use it absolutely if it's free, but there's so many free resources out there. There is no reason to pay for advertising. You can do so many things for free out there. You can list it in so many different places, but assuming that doesn't cost you any money, I definitely recommend Roomie as one of the places you list. And then this is my profile. So anyone looking for a room, in addition to seeing my listing and seeing all the photos of my houses, they can come to my profile and they can see basically this little bio about me. They can see what I do, that I worked in insurance. They can look at my profile picture. I have basically photos of me and my wife on there. I always try to throw photos of me and the wife up there because, especially, and this is going to sound weird, but it's just true. If you're a guy and there's a young woman who's looking for a room to rent, there's some sort of, I don't want to say fear there, but if you have pictures of you and your girlfriend or your spouse or your wife or whatever, it really just does help with the sort of intimidation factor and the creepy factor, if you will, especially if you're going to be the one messaging them. If they message you, it's a little bit different, but it is less threatening when you have nice, kind of fun, fluffy photos, especially if you can have, your spouse in there too. It makes you also seem more like a real person and not just some scam artist trying to get money or rip people off. So the number 2 website that I use to get my tenants is Craigslist. I've gotten so many tenants off of Craigslist, and I'll just show you my ad. Feel free to pause the video if you want. There's this description of my entire ad that I use, and at the bottom, I always link to my social media. And this is just another reason, there are so many scams out there. There are a lot of people trying to rip you off on Craigslist, but when people come across my ad, if they can find my Facebook, my LinkedIn, and my Instagram, usually that's okay, well, if he's providing his social media, he's probably not a scam artist. And especially if they look up all 3, they will see that it's the same guy. I'm me, and I have the same profiles all the way across. So my Facebook photo, my LinkedIn photo, my Instagram, you can see it's all the same person. So the Craigslist ads, the most important thing on Craigslist is you want to have photos. I see a lot of people that have ads on Craigslist without any pictures of the house, and that's a huge mistake. You won't get any tenants that way. My recommendation when you have a Craigslist ad is to have your main photo the outside of your house, and the very next photo you want it to be the kitchen. I've just noticed that when I have ads that are in that order, they just do much better than any other order. So you want to start main photo outside of the house, and this was a very gray day in Seattle when I took a photo of this house. This, by the way, is a different house than the first 2 listings that I showed you. This is my all-female house that I have in the South Seattle area, so there are only women living in this house. So exterior, kitchen, and then I have a photo of the room itself. Actually, a terrible photo. I need to redo this. But, just going on, you want to have pictures of the living room, kind of show the bathrooms. So, yeah, pretty basic. And then, obviously, you want to highlight what you have. So this is probably the most important part that I have, the middle of my ad, where I talk about everything it includes. So water, sewer, garbage, parking, internet, cable, Hulu, Netflix, a house cleaner, pest control. And then I also talk about right here how once per month I stock every single house with toilet paper, paper towels, hand soap, dish soap, dishwasher soap, all of those things here. And then I just clarify that all of that is included in the rent. So that is Craigslist. Now, real quick, what I'll do is I'll just go back to my Craigslist, and if you want to post a listing in Craigslist, all you got to do, you have to make an account, and you say create posting, and you type in your area. I'm in Seattle, so I would do that. And then specifically for house hacking, I would say housing offered, and then you want to do rooms and shares. If you do apartments for rent or a house for rent, it's not specific for room rentals. So you have to click the button that says rooms and shares, and then you make the title, you put the zip code, you type in your text for your ad, and then you add your photos. Now, the number 1 way that I find tenants, we're back to Facebook. It is not Facebook Marketplace, but it's housing groups within your city. So this is a group that I belong to. It is Seattle Housing, Apartments, Rooms, Sublets. And there are, as you can see over here, there are just under 30,000 members. Now, this is really key because these are people that are only in Seattle And usually they're looking for rooms. They're not looking for an entire house to rent. They're looking specifically for rooms. So I post ads in here all the time. So the fact that there are 30,000 people just in this Facebook group looking for, the exact thing that I provide, this is really helpful. So all you do is you basically just come over here. It's almost like you're writing any Facebook post. You just write the text of the room that you want for rent, or the room that you have for rent. Obviously, you want to upload photos, and that is pretty much it. So this is just a quick breakdown of the top 5 ways that I find tenants. So Facebook Marketplace, RentHoop, Roomie, Craigslist, and Facebook groups. If you use those 5, you can't go wrong. It's pretty awesome. There are other companies like Roomster, but you have to pay for that. And I am really big on taking advantage of free advertising.